All right, welcome back to Impossible Versus Matches, the podcast where we take pop culture characters, mesh them together in some sort of versus movie crossover scenario like King Kong versus Godzilla, Freddy versus Jason, anything like that. Um, we are not really going into who would win, but just we're going to improvise scenarios on how they get together. Join with me is my good friend Jason. Jason, say hello.
Hello, everybody.
And if you guys don't know the rules by now, you should. This is episode what, 28 now? I don't know, but there's a whole lot of other episodes for you
Yeah,
to
yeah.
get on into.
We still here, Shun.
That's right. Um I've got a list of a bunch of characters. I'm putting it into a randomizer. Jason usually has a list but does not have one in this batch of episodes, so he's just going to be randomly throwing off the top characters. So Jason, you're the guest. So as always, would you like to go first or would you like me to go first?
Actually, I would like to go first.
Okay, throw out that character then.
Yes. I have Sokka from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Perfect.
He is a member of the Water Tribe, the Southern Water Tribe. Even though, of course, that he is a member of the Southern Water Tribe, he is not a bender himself. He
That's
is just
right.
a normie, and but he is still one of the most formidable characters on the show. Very intelligent character, always adaptable, part of his culture, and also a funny guy and a good friend. And Sokka is just one of those people that inspire me to be the person that I am. So,
All right. Well, this is an interesting matchup. This is actually someone that has been on my list for a long time. Like, he was actually number 2 on my list when I first made my list for these shows. Um, it is Vincent Vega and just Vincent Vega.
just Vincent Vega.
So, yeah, for anyone that doesn't know, Vincent Vega is John Travolta's character in Pulp Fiction.
Mm-hmm.
He every film student's dream
Oh,
is to be Pulp Fiction and to be Vincent Vega, a man that loves himself some nostalgic films, loves himself some drugs and smoking, loves some alcohol, is outraged by a $5 shake, and enjoys traveling the world, especially to Europe.
mm-hmm. Okay,
He is
okay.
also I don't know if you'd call him like a gangster.
He's more of a hitman. He's a
Yeah,
hitman for a gangster.
yeah, something like that. He is in organized crime, but
Yes.
it's never explicitly stated in Pulp Fiction exactly what. It's not like mafia, but it is definitely
It's just
like,
more he works for Marcellus Wallace,
yeah,
the
works
biggest
for
bad
Marcellus Wallace.
guy
And
out
for those of you that have seen the movie or have not, he gets teamed up with Jules, Samuel L. Jackson's character.
there. Yeah.
Um, but Samuel L. Jackson character is not in this scenario. It's just
Nope.
Vincent Vega.
And neither is anyone from the gang. No Aang, no Katara, no Toph, because that would be just too easy.
Yeah. All right. So, how are these two coming together? Why are they mad at each other?
Well, Vincent Vega, being Vincent Vega, is just doing his own thing. He's doing his own thing, and he's going around on this hit for Marcellus Wallace. Marcellus Wallace basically wants a motherfucker dead because that's what he does, and because someone owes his money.
Hmm.
So he's just going around this like old store or whatever for this old storekeeper. And he's beating him up. He's like, "Please don't hurt me." The guy's like, "Please don't hurt me. I'll give you what you want, please. I'll give you what you want." And he's like, "Okay, what do you have?" And you see a old book, right?
All
But
right.
this book, this book, there's something about it. It seems magical in a sense. And when you open it up, it's like chapters, right? And it
Okay.
says book 2, Earth on it.
Mm.
And it's the story of Avatar, Let's Airbender, right?
Okay.
Actually in book form.
I see.
Now we go to the Avatar world, right?
All right.
And this is specifically like right before season 3, like right in 2 when they're in Boxing Say. And Sokka's just looking around and all that stuff. And while they're trying to look for Appa, and he's just walking around, and he passes by like this old like witch lady, and it's like, you seek something, and it's like, yeah, I'm looking for, my friend's flying bison. Have you seen a giant bison flying in the sky? And she's like, no, no, I haven't. But I also know that you seek something else. And then it's like, what? And it's like, oh, approval. And Sokka's just like, okay, whatever, stupid witch lady, all right. It's like, oh, you're not that much of a spiritual person, are you? It's like, no, no, I'm not. I don't believe in any of that stuff. Okay. Anyway, just leave me alone. And so, being offended, the witch basically casts a spell on him. And she was like, well, if you can't learn to respect your elders in this world, then learn to respect your elders in another world. And she transports him through the book in the modern world. So Sokka ends up in 1990s Los Angeles in an antique shop, right? And he's with Vincent Vega. Because Vincent Vega is just like, okay, this is an old book. He kills the storekeeper, so he puts the book in his apartment, right?
Right.
So he's sleeping, and then like there's like this bee coming through, and he just hears screaming in his living room, and then just some weirdly dressed kid just comes out of the book and just like, where am I? And this Vega is just like, oh my god, it's just who's this kid? He just seems like it's an intruder. So he brings his gun, he's firing at him. Sokka's hiding is hiding, behind like a kitchen cabinet, just like, oh my gosh, I must be captured by the Fire Nation. This guy's bending because he doesn't know what a gun is.
Right.
There's no guns in the Avatar universe. He doesn't.
Yeah.
So he's like, well, I don't know what's up with this guy's weird version of firebending. So he brings out his trusty boomerang.
Yeah.
And then he uses the boomerang and it hits Vincent Vega right across the head with it. And then I mean, you can go on my mini series of Sokka, going all through Los Angeles to like, meeting up with some more Pulp Fiction characters or whatever. Maybe he joins up, with like gangsters, and also because he's wearing all blue, so they think he's a Crip. So you got a lot of edges, but I know that was a very like that. It was mostly all set up just for like a 2-second fight.
I mean, again, we don't always go into the fight. It's just how do they get there?
Right.
I get this really funny image of like Ving Rhames, like Marcellus Wallace, just like, I don't know who this Avatar motherfucker is, but I want him dead.
Yeah.
like just having them all go against each other. But I got a B scenario for you.
Okay, what's your B scenario?
All right. So, Vincent has gone to his dealer to get some of that real, like, that good stuff, right? And so he gets some of that, and he's ready. He starts, prepping that heroin, right? And start shooting up. Meanwhile, cross dimensions in the realm of Avatar.
Oh my gosh!
Sokka is drinking cactus juice.
Cactus juice.
Yes. Now, at this exact moment, the timelines, they interconnect, because this exact moment when the heroin hits Vincent Vega's brain and the cactus juice hits Sokka's brain, they meet in this hallucinogenic world together. It has Sokka's tripping on cactus juice, Vince Vega's tripping on heroin, and they have both met in this hallucinogenic, like, tie-dye world or something. And they both hate each other now because they both have the same haircut. But they both think that they are the ones that wear it better. because when Vincent Vega puts his hair in like the little ponytail, it's kind of similar to what Ahsoka's got going on a little bit, but they're also high off their ass, so they think they just have the same haircut. And he's like, "Hey, you can't have that haircut, and this is my dream, and I have the better haircut," or something like that. And basically, they fight it out in this hallucination, and then eventually, like Aang wakes up Sokka and gets him to snap out of it, and like Jules wakes up, wakes up Vincent, and they're like, "What just happened?" So they cross over because their brains linked
Yeah.
while they're hallucinating, which I think we both did a pretty decent job in pulling these completely unrelated characters together. And that's what this show is about, because there is no way, no one has ever thought, what if the one guy from Pulp Fiction met up with this kid from Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, I would just think like if you put just a mashup of all the cast from Pulp Fiction to like all the cast of Avatar, like having Zuko, like I said, being in the middle of like hot, 90s in Los Angeles, so
Yeah.
maybe like his fire bend is like turned up to 100 and all that stuff, or there's like a gang war.
Yeah, you just watch out for that gun shop on that one street. You
Oh,
don't you don't want to end up there.
oh my god! Oh my god! Aang's like, oh man, what's this cool collectible place? Like, oh,
Oh dear.
oh Jesus, man.
Oh my God, Bruce Willis and Aang have to team up because they're both bald.
Oh yeah, Aang was get out of the sex dungeon.
Except instead of a katana, it's airbending. That's fun. This is what this show is about. We
Yeah.
take the crossovers that no one is going to think of and put them together, because like Death Battle, they make them somewhat related. Epic rap battles, they make them somewhat related.
Right.
We make them completely unrelated. Can't be the same time period, not even the same dimension, but we're going to figure out a way for them to come together without just, he takes a portal.
Right. Oh my god. Yeah, I use like a whole Big Trouble Little China aspect to it,
Mm-hmm.
That's a He-Man. It's like it's my day, trailer to modern day, but it wouldn't be modern day. It'd be like '90s LA. So
Yeah, 97, I think that movie is.
did it?
Is it? Or is it 99?
No, I don't think it's
No.
I think it's '97. It's a bit like mid '90s.
97 makes sense. Now I'm Googling Pulp Fiction. When did you come? Oh, 94. We're both wrong.
Yeah, because I knew it wasn't like no late '90s. It was pretty early in the '90s. I know like I was a baby when it came out.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. That was fun. That was a fun start.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Throw a character my way, and we'll just jump right into the next one.
Okay, 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 okay.
What?
Okay. I don't know if you guys. I don't know if you guys ever use this one. Maybe a Stitch.
We have not used Stitch.
Yeah. Okay, so Stitch.
Huh. Okay. So this is actually really funny because it's Stitch versus E.T.
Yeah.
Think about that for a second. It's Stitch
And it's the
versus E.T.
same. Yeah.
They're like the same character. Should I go with Stitch versus ET, or do you think we should try
They're
for
not
something more different?
necessarily the same character. I have a very funny pitch of before like the reason Stitch gets arrested in the reason Stitch gets arrested in the first movie is because the world he was destroying was E.T.'s homeworld, and E.T. escaped his homeworld a la Superman because Stitch was slaughtering just millions of his people.
All right.
But that's just all I got.
You know what? They're the same. They're the same concept.
They are, yeah.
So
So that wouldn't work. Yeah,
you,
they are the exact same concept.
I mean, they're the same concept, but you think I should roll with this because this is kind of funny.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
You know what? Okay, I've got this. So this is going to be a very strange. It's almost like a spin-off or an alternate reality where so let's say that Lilo and Stitch and E.T. they exist in the same time, right?
Yeah.
Let's for the sake of this. Now, this is definitely like a TV special crossover type situation. And so E.T. has, come down and he's been living with Elliot for a while. In
Mhm.
this particular version, it's done as if this is like a TV special where the creators just did not care for the source material of ET. So
Right.
none of the hijinks that ensue during ET happen, and like mom just knows about it the whole time, like he's a mascot. And they decide to go. It's ET Hawaiian Vacation,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and shenanigans ensue where they end up like getting ET like on the plane, and they're just like, "Oh, my sick daughter, she doesn't like to talk. Can't go through security. Can't go through the X-ray machine because of something. You don't want to see her like 3 hearts or whatever ET's got as his anatomy." So Elliot and ET end up in Hawaii.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, Lilo and Stitch are doing their thing,
Mhm.
and Stitch is like he's riding around on like Lilo's like big wheel or whatever, like her little tricycle, and and Elliot and ET are like crossing the street or something. Stitch runs over ET
Mhm.
for a second, and Lilo like catches up, and Elliot's like, "You got to control your dog." Or something. And this starts with like, so Lilo snaps back because Lilo's a little fireball.
Yes, that she
She's
is.
about that life.
She is about that life, definitely.
So this actually starts with the two kids beefing.
Yeah.
So um so Elliot and Lilo are actually in a fight because kids are kids. uh
Yeah.
Elliot is definitely far weaker than Lilo is. Probably a little more resourceful, but Lilo has scrapped before,
Right.
and she'll do it again. So it starts with it starts with the kids beefing, and because ET has a like emotional link to Elliot, now ET's pissed
Right.
and and tries to go for Stitch, try and go for the throat, but that's not going to work because Stitch is strong and ET's a bitch. Because ET has no strength whatsoever. He's just a little he's just a little little nutsack creature.
Yes, yes, yes. He is. He's just a tiny little nutsack creature with a glowy little finger.
Yeah, and
While Stitch is literally a mass murdering killing machine.
right.
That is a dog.
And this is basically just like in the streets of Hawaii
Yes.
of like just two kids just like on the ground just like slapping each other a bunch, and then uh Stitch is like ripping apart ET's like disguise where he's in like where he's like dressed up as like the little girl. Remember when they put like the dress and stuff on him? and but then it continues. You see, this is like the start of the fight, but we're about to add some layers to it. I'm going to take your idea a little bit.
Mhm.
So Stitch, because he he's got claws and all that,
Yes.
he ends up ripping off ET's disguise and sees E.T.
Yeah.
and
He's,
and this makes him angry, but we don't know why. And Stitch, grows his extra arms.
yeah.
And now E.T. is shocked because the reason why Stitch was arrested in the first place was because he was laying waste to E.T.'s homeworld. And that's why E.T. was on Earth in the first place. They were fleeing.
Yes.
Um, and this triggered the part of Stitch that hasn't reformed yet, and he's like, I have to he's got to finish the job now.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to he, like, I was told I left one alive. Like, hi.
I was like, oh, and Lee was like, no, Stitch is nice now. I'm sorry that he murdered your entire civilization and culture, and babies. And
Yeah,
Lee was like,
but
what?
Et doesn't let it
I
go.
ate, I ate all of their babies.
But Et doesn't let it go because Et is pissed now. So he's just waddling over. Bad.
That's great.
Et suplex.
Oh my gosh, Stitch would of course would just like
Oh
murder.
yeah, Stitch would mop the floor with Et. Et can't do anything.
He's just wild like
Yeah,
he's Roger
like,
but worse.
and that would basically be it. But pretty much, Stitch
Yeah.
learns that Et ain't shit. so so basically, it goes just into a montage where like Lilo and Stitch are just doing their own thing, and ET's like trying very slowly to harm Stitch, but it doesn't work because he has no like momentum in his movement. So he's like moving in slow motion, like
Right.
hell. And it pretty much continues from there until Stitch has finally, had enough. And Lilo and Elliot are still beefing. So that's great because both of them, because they're both like the same, they fit that same mold of a little kid and
Yeah.
like a little alien. Like if this was Elliot and ET versus Hogarth and the Iron Giant, it would not
Right.
be it would definitely not be anywhere near that. But since they're all around the same size, I think that's hilarious.
That is actually like so funny.
I I love it. That's the title of this episode. Stitch versus ET.
Right. That's top tier right
Yeah,
there.
but we know ET's not about that life.
He's not. He's not. Stitch is.
ET doesn't have hands.
And plus, like you get Stitch's cousins. That's the thing I really, I love Lilo Stitch. Well, I even like the TV show even more. Um, and then you get Stitch's like cousins
Oh
combined.
wait, we got a whole gang war coming on. We got Stitch's cousins, and we got all those aliens from ET's ride at the Universal Park.
Exactly.
And now we got a turf war.
Yeah, but no, Stitch's cousins will win that too. They all
Oh
have
yeah, for sure.
superpowers.
Yeah, they've all got powers. ET can make flowers grow.
Yep,
Uh,
magical.
I think maybe in the end of this, what actually causes like the final scrap is so in classic like Disney movie fashion or family movie fashion, Stitch actually gets hurt and ET feels bad, so he tries to do like the magic finger heal, but Stitch fakes him out and like bites his hand off or something.
Yes, that's very Stitch.
Yeah.
That's Stitch's character.
I'm sorry. Boop. Yeah. And then that's pretty much it. And Elliot's not allowed to go back to Hawaii.
Oh my god. That's fantastic, dude.
That was a fun episode. That was comedy. Really good coming off of the previous episode we had before.
Harley!
All right. Well, thank you for listening to this episode of Impossible versus Matches. I'm Joseph. I've been joined by my good friend Jason. Jason, where can they find you?
Oh, well, you guys can find me on the Young Kings podcast, the greatest podcast in the world, the Young Kings podcast on Spotify, on Apple, on YouTube. You can find me personally on Instagram, J Godzilla, J to the Godzilla, but it's mostly just J Godzilla put together in one word. Same thing for the Twitter handle, sir. So that's where it is, and that's what it be.
All right. Join us next time, and we'll go into some more crazy matchups. See what happens. Jason, thank you for joining me.
Of course, man. Awesome.